Welcome to my channel Asha's Tech Studio. Today we will develop a quiz application in JavaFx. So here I have created a new project in IntelliJ IDE. I have named it as Easy Quiz. Now first of all, in our application I will design the home screen. So in the home screen I will insert a label. I will change the font settings. In my app, I will use the Open Sans typeface. Now I will create a button. When the user will click on this button, he would be directed to the quiz screen. Now I will set these styles. So the background color of my button would be blue. And I want to set the radius of my button. So for this I will use two CSS attributes. The first is background radius. And the second is border radius. So now you are able to see the rounded corners of the button. I will set a ID for this button. So this much is done. I want another thing that the anchor pin radius should be also 32px. But this is a bit different task, because first of all you will have to set the CSS attributes. However, still it would not show any rounded corners. This is because in the stage style you will be having a square frame. So to avoid this, I will write two lines of code. Stage init style should be transparent, and in the scene the fill should be transparent. Here I will remove the height and width set here, because already in my fxml file I have set the width and height. So now you can see the rounded corners of the anchor pane as well as the button. So now our next step is to open the quiz screen from the home screen. So for this I will create another fxml file and a Java class. I will name it as quiz. Now I will initialize the button. I will declare the button in my controller class. So this is the tag, fxml tag. Now I will write the ID of my button. Now I will initialize the class. Now I want to open the quiz screen from this button. So our button, when it would be clicked, so we will set a event handler. We have set an event handler. Now to open the quiz screen, first of all we will have to close the home screen. This stage close. So by writing these two lines, the current stage would be closed. Now we will have to open a new stage. So for this I will use fxml loader, which would load the quiz fxml. Now create a new scene. You will have to surround these whole lines and this full code with a try catch block. If there would be any error while loading the new stage, so it would be thrown in our terminal. Now I will set the scene. In this also, the init style should be transparent because I will also round the corners of our quiz screen. However, if you set the initial style as transparent, so the title of the stage would not be visible. So in this case, you will have to in your fxml file, you will have to write the name of your application if you want. Now let us see whether the quiz screen opens or not. Now we can see here that an error has been thrown. This is because the URL to our FX controller in the quiz fxml is wrong. So let us correct it and again run this application. So the quiz screen has been opened. Now we will design this quiz screen. Now here I would write my first question of the quiz. You can write any other text also, because we will set the questions programmatically. Now I will set the options. So for setting the options, I would use a button. You can also use radio buttons. Now I will design these options. So let us set the background color. Okay, so now set the IDs. So this is our question label. So let us set the ID as question. This is the option 1. And in the options, I would also set the action on action listeners. So now we will initialize the fields and methods in our controller class. Now initialize these methods. Now when the quiz screen would be initialized, so I will load the questions. So I will create a method and call it here. The name of our method is load questions. Now I would declare 3 integers The first one is counter, which is the counter for the current question. It means that if the current question is 1, so value of the counter would be 0. Now if the user has clicked on any option, then the counter will increase to +1 and the next question would be shown. So hence it is a very important integer. You can also name it as any different thing or set any different value, but I would start from the 0. Now static integer correct. It is important because when I will create the result panel, I will create another fxml, another controller class, so it would be helpful to pass this correct value to the result panel class. So that is why I have chosen this static keyword also. The same case is for wrong. Now if our counter, it means if our current question is 0, so we will have to set text for the question to show it. Now I want to show you my question and choices file. Let us copy this question and also copy these options. Now I would add a else if condition, that if the counter is 1, it means that if the second question has been chosen after answering the first question, so the system should be able to open the second question and the options so that the user can answer. So my second question is, who invented light bulb? Similarly, I will set the options also. Now I will just copy this and enter my questions. Don't forget to increase the counters. Counter 2 for the third question. Counter is equal to 3 for the fourth question. When the user will click on any button, so the counter would increase. And then the load questions method would be called again. Remember that counter is equal to 9 is for the 10th question. Actually the indexing starts from 0, so I would also, so for this only I would assign the value 0 to the counter variable. You can also assign one value, no problem for that. Here I have written all my questions. Now the question has been loaded since the counter is 0. So if the option 1 is clicked, if the user thought that option 1 is correct and he has clicked that, so now what will happen? Which code would be executed? So we will write that code. So the first thing would be to check the answer. Now what is the answer? The value of option 1. I have converted the value to a string. Now I have used the check answer. So what is it? It is a method which I will initialize. Now what will this method do? String answer is the parameter. Now if the current question is 0 and the user has clicked on the option, so now the current question is 0 and we know the system knows what is the correct answer. So if the answer is the text of question 1, so the answer is the text of question 1. Now how can we know that the answer is correct? So we would try to match the answer with the string, with the correct answer string that you will have to write manually. So in the first question the correct answer was 21. So now the value of option 1 is 19. So we know that it is not the correct answer. The 21 value is in the option 3. So if the user will click on option 3, only then he will get the answer correct. So actually the check answer is a boolean because it will return as true or false. So you can also write it as, use another if condition inside this. Now if the answer equals 21, so return true. It means that the answer is correct. But what if the answer is not 21? So for that you will have to return is false. I have used this to check that if the condition is true. So correct would be, correct is plus 1. However, if the value given in option 1 is wrong and the user has clicked on it, so the answer is wrong, it is not 21. So for that you will have to increase wrong by 1. It means that it is a wrong answer. I have used else to show that if the answer is not correct, if the boolean is false. Now I will do the similar thing for all the questions. So here in this check answer, boolean only will have to enter all the correct answers. Because the system doesn't know the correct answer, you will have to enter that. So I will write all the correct answers. So I have written all the correct answers. Now this much is the code for checking if the value of the option 1 is the correct answer or not. Now just copy this code for all the options, but before that, now if the option 1 has been clicked, so now the user should be directed to the next question. However, if the counter means the correct question is 10th question, so now it will show the result panel. However, if it is not the 10th question, it means that if it is first question, second question, third question, fourth question, or etc., so he should be directed to the next question. However, if it is 10th question, so the user should see the result. So in the else block, I write counter plus plus. Counter plus plus is same as counter is equal to counter plus 1. So you can write both these statements. It will do the same operation. And when the question has been means the question, counter has been increased to 1, so the next question should be load. So I will call the load questions method again to load the questions. Right now I will write nothing here, because to write I will have to create the result panel also. Now this much code is completed. I will copy this to option to clicked method. Replace the values. Now it is the time to test our application up to the code we have written. So if I choose the third option, so we don't know right now that whether it is correct or wrong. However, the system has calculated that thing. However, we will know when we will go to the result panel. Now here we can see the second question. It means that our code is working correctly. So all of our questions are completed, and you can see that we have choose the option of the 10th question. So there is no next question, so we will not be redirected to anything. So this is the time to create the result panel. So I will again create a new fxml file, name it as result, and a Java class named result controller. Now here first I will insert a label in which I will simply write the result. Now I will insert another label which would show the remark. So it is just a sample text which I am writing. Fine. Now I will create another label. However, I will format it differently. It will show the marks. So for example, the user has got 8 marks, 8 out of 10 marks in the quiz. So here I have written 8 out of 10. Now I want to format it like a box. So I will set the padding. I guess that 20 is enough. It should be able to cover all the text, so set it accordingly. Now I will style it. The background color would be sky blue, and again I want to round the corners. Now this is our label. Below this I want to again write or just leave it. Now I will create a progress indicator. Actually I will create two progress indicators for showing the correct answer and for showing the wrong answer. So again you will have to format it. Now the font weight 900, it means extra bold, and the font size, because there are no other options for progress indicator to set the font settings, so we will have to do this in CSS. So this for the correct answers. The similar progress bar should be also for the wrong answer. The color should be red. Now I will simply put labels. similar labels for incorrect answers and correct answers. The text color should also be red and green respectively. Now again set the IDs. Now I would initialize the fields in our result controller class. Okay, so now we will get the static integers correct or wrong and set the correct text and wrong text. First you will have to convert it into string, because the correct and wrong are integer values, and when we are setting the text we want to set our text in string. So that is why you will have to convert the integer into string values. However, if you want to set the progress in progress indicator, you will need a float value. So first of all I want to set the marks text. Yes, one more thing that you will have to also write correct answers, wrong answers, like that. Now I will set the value in progress indicator. So for that, first I will create a float variable. Whose type is float. Now I have done this because I want to convert it into a float value. but since I want to show the percentage, so I will have to divide it by 10. Here you can see that when we are setting the progress, the value is 0.9. Now if the correct answers are 9, because it is an integer value, so if the correct answers are 9, so we will have to divide it by 10 to get 0.9. Only after that we will be able to set the progress in progress indicator. So that is the simple logic, and now it will throw no error. Same thing we have to do for wrong answers. Now it is the time to show the remarks. So I have already thought of what the remark test should be for different conditions, that if the user has got mark between 1 to 4, so what should be the text? If the user has got marks between 6 to 8, so what should be the text? So I will just paste my code here. So this is the logic, that if the marks are less than 2, so the remark text would be the following. If the marks are more than 2 but less than 5, so the remark text should show this line. If it is equal to or greater than 5 and equal to but less than 7, so it should show this. If it is equal to 8 or equal to 9, it should show this line. And if it is equal to 10, then a special text, this one. So like this, our application has been completed. So let us check if there is any error and how is it running. So this is one more thing that I forgot about. Now we should open the result screen from our quiz application, quiz controller. We had left that space empty. So here we will write our code. I will just copy and paste the code which we had written in our home controller class, because the code is similar to that. Just change the values. This much is correct. After that, change this to result. Rest all are correct. Copy this for different options.